Hello and welcome to the Motorhouse. I guess it will say welcome back for those that have been following or have seen my channel before. This is, we'll say, beginning of October, an update for what's been going on. I haven't been posting videos for a few weeks, and I apologize for that, but I have been busy, just not recording it as much. Got back from Lotus Owners Gathering in Pittsburgh, and he took the Elite. You see up there. There were 3 cars in our class, 2 Elites and a Clot, and ours won first place out of the 3. Very nice. Car was very well received. We got to take a few laps on the Pittsburgh racetrack. Car did extremely well. I enjoyed it. My wife kept her eyes shut for most of it. That's just her. But so once we got back from the gathering, gears had to shift to getting the place clean because we had a party. Yes, the Motorhouse party that we've had 6 of them so far. There's some of the stuff left over from the party. This would have been our 6th party that we've had, and there was about 50 to 60 people, and let's say close to 30 cars of, we'll say, not your daily drivers, but Lotus and other related cars like that. So that is what I have been focusing on, doing the yearly cleaning of the Motorhouse. So everything gets put away, the floors all get mopped, and we start fresh for another year. So that is what's been going on in that respect. So the last few days, I welded up a new spring compressor. These are Europa front shocks, and I had a spring compressor, we'll say, a lot flimsier than this, that I made probably 30 years ago. I just don't know what it did with it. I have no idea what I did with it. Works on the same principle, upper plate, lower plate, and all threads to bring it down. So I just said, well, let's just make a new one. Okay, the welds aren't fantastic, but it's strong. I get the weld every few months, a little something, and I can't keep up any consistency. So every chance I get to practice, I like to. So anyway, this is one apart. And I find that this does better. I've got the spring compressor. I've got a bunch of this type of version. They don't work. They don't work in here. Because once the springs compress down, it doesn't fit. It doesn't get in there, which is the problem. Even ones with the hooks, which I think are pretty sketchy to use, don't really get in there to work. I find that making a lower plate with a hole, an upper plate with just the right size hole, compressing it down with all thread, does fantastic. If you go to make another one for yourself, just remember that you need to have a large amount of all thread above the compressed, because this thing's going to grow. Let's see, grab this. So when you start letting go, you can probably see that it's going to be a few inches higher, and you need to get that done. Okay, so a friend of mine asked me for some springs, old springs, for Europa. And I said, sure, I probably have an old set, and I can let you have the springs. So I needed to take these apart, give them the springs. So moving to the other side, let's talk about the 7. At last year's Motorhouse party, the 7 was all together, and people were interested in the progress that I've made. Some people have seen photos, some have watched the videos. This was the chance to up close, take a look at it, and to see the progress that's been made on the chassis. So, made some decisions. Talked over with friends, talked over with previous owner of the car. kind of putting our heads together on some decisions that I was going to make on the car for repairs. So let's right now discuss the front shock. This is a Europa shock, as you've seen a few moments ago, and it is substantially larger than the one that is in there. And sorry if I'm shaking the camera, but it's difficult with two hands here, holding different things. But it is too large to fit in there. It'll be curious to see what the numbers are on that and what that matches to, and if it is just different for 7 or if it's different just for this one. So I'm going to start taking apart all the suspension and get the chassis, we'll say, bare. I've decided to make a roll-around dolly for the chassis that keeps it up at a nice working height. I'm going to soda blast. I did get my soda blaster working. I have a nice one. I think it's slow, but it works. And I will soda blast all of this to clean it up. And then be ready for paint. But in order to move this chassis around, in and out, and do what I have to do with soda blasting outside, because you don't do that inside, it needs to be movable. And on sawhorses, it is not movable. So I'm going to have to weld up, bolt up, we'll say fabricate a rolling chassis for it, which I can do that. Notice that I can do that. I have the parts. I have the material to make it. I just have to go ahead and do it. And that was some of the decisions I was making. Instead of just trying to do everything here and carry it in and out, just make that up. The Ford rear end. Good friend of ours who came to the party said he no longer has a Ford Cortina style rear end in his 7, and he has extra parts left over from when he had a Ford differential, and I'm welcome to get them from them if I want. So I thank him. I thank him for that. So I think that's the update as to what's going on. Fabrication, some dismantling. I made sure that the sandblast cabinet is working well to do all the parts in. So that's where we're headed. The party's over with. It's time to get back to work. So thanks for keeping up with what I do. Oh, and Don was also at our party and said in a couple weeks he is ready for the engine. So the engine and transmission are both on stands. Let me go over there now. So the engine is on the stand because it makes it easier to move around. I say Don will be, he said he'll be ready in a couple weeks for it. The transmission, this is how I mount it on the stand. It helps me get a bunch of work. The shifting mechanism, I did hear that that style has been used on other cars, so it's nothing, we'll say, out of the ordinary. It is a style that's been done for other applications, which is good. Still, it's gonna have to be rebuilt for this. This is an old shifter from an Elite, and I did take the top off, and so far we'll say the gears look good. I didn't see any problems with the gears. I did see play in the front bearings, in the first motion shaft, which I have found on other Elites. So I am assembling all of my spare parts and getting others stuff in order to get the rebuild on this transmission going. So I don't know how much of that rebuild I'm going to do in depth, because I've done it for the Elite, and there is in-depth coverage on that on other videos. So I'll probably just kind of go over the highlights as I'm doing this one. All right. Thanks for watching. I think I'm at 169 subscribers. Amazing. I think that's amazing. Thank you all for subscribing. And it's time to enjoy this fall weather and get ready for the winter projects.